Kadena Slinking Sorcerer versus Morophon the Boundless. We will keep because we have a Prophet of Kruphix, which is exactly what we need. We've got a Morph creature in hand. Scroll of Fate will no doubt come in handy. In fact, that's really good with the Prophet of Kruphix. So yeah, I think we are set up quite nicely here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get down to a really quick start. We will just start things off with a breeding pool. Nothing too thrilling going on in the early game for us. We're just going to slow roll our mana out and hopefully stick our commander. Our opponent already trying to assemble Tron. We get into another morph creature, so that bodes well for when we get our commander down. She'll draw us a card every time we play a morph spell. And an Eka-Clawmere, so being infected to death by the looks of it. Do we want to put down a morph creature? Or do we want to put down that Scroll of Fate? I think I'm going to go for the Vigilante here. It's at times like this that I wish the Nantuko Vigilante was a Reclamation Sage. Just going to be taking 1 point of infect damage here because that gets a +2/+2 buff when we block. So we're getting infect on us here. And then a Hovermere, flying and vigilance. So I'm not really sure what our opponent's aiming for here. Maybe it's just mere tribal. Yeah, I mean that's almost certainly what it is. And in that case, I don't think I'm really all that worried about being infected out, so let's just go for our commander. If it is mere tribal, then I wouldn't have thought they'd have too many ways of getting infect off onto us. We'll get the Ice Feather Aven down. That will draw us a card. And Worldly Tutor is really in here to get us into Craterhoof Behemoth. Let's swing in with the Nantuko Vigilante. Might as well get a couple of points onto our opponent. And a Mere Reservoir pretty much guarantees that this is mere tribal. You can tap it for 2 to cast mere spells and activate mere abilities. And then 3 and tap to return a mere from graveyard to hand. And now they can cast artifacts at flash speed. Infect Mere coming in again. We will allow it. A Soul Collector for us. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Soul Collector dies this turn, return it to the battlefield under your control. Let's play the land. Play the Soul Collector face down. That'll draw us a card. And then we've got a free morph spell to cast during our opponent's turn, with the Prophet of Kruphix as well. So we're looking alright here. Now the question is, do we flip the Nantuko Vigilante to get rid of this Infector? Or do we use it to get rid of the Shimmermere? Not really too sure yet. Let's play this down during our opponent's upkeep to draw a card. Getting into Void Mage Apprentice, we can hard cast that if we want to. We only get 1 free morph a turn. And we just made use of our free morph during our opponent's upkeep. Let's go for flipping over the Vigilante. And we'll kill that thing off. And it looks like we're seeing our opponent's commander here. Nope, it's the Mere Battle Sphere. We're going to have to allow that. We can't counter it. But what we can do is go for Worldly Tutor. And what do we go for with Worldly Tutor? We could just go for something to blow up the Mere Battle Sphere. Let's hardcast the Void Mage Apprentice face down. To draw yet another card, we get into Chromatic Lantern. How many creatures have we got? I mean, we could just go straight up for a Craterhoof Behemoth. If we get into a land here, which we do not, but Miri's Guile will get us into one. Yeah, we can drop down these mana rocks and get down the Miri's Guile as well. And that should hopefully put us in line for dropping a Craterhoof Behemoth on our opponent. Yeah, I think we're looking okay here. Not going to bother swinging him. Now let's just have a peruse of what we've got here. We can bounce a creature with that. We can kill something off and steal it with that. That counters abilities. We might actually make use of that if our opponent goes for the Battle Sphere, and then we can counter with Void Mage Apprentice, which we may do if our opponent goes for Morophon, which they are doing. Yeah, don't want a load of tokens getting buffed, so let's just counter here. Just deciding to go in with the Hovermere. Now the problem we have here is because we didn't get into a land last turn, had we have gotten into a land we could go for Craterhoof now and play it next turn. But yeah, that's not an option unfortunately, so we'll just have to hope that there's one in the top 3 with Miri's Guile. And there is, just barely. There's Bane of the Living, so we can play that to draw into the Yavimaya Coast. Yeah, so we'll go Disallow, Yavimaya Coast, and Bane of the Living. And we can also flip round Bane of the Living to give -1/-1. And that will get rid of those tokens as well. So let's play the Morph spell. Then play the Yavimaya Coast. Might as well get down the Scroll of Fate. And we'll use the lands to do that, because they will untap during our opponent's next turn. And now we are primed and ready to go for our Craterhoof Behemoth win. A Temple Bell. Each player draws a card. Yep, don't care about that. And then an Icon of Ancestry. Our opponent cannot activate, but they do get the buff still. There's Icefeather Aven, Soul Collector, and Kadena Silencer. We might flip over maybe. And then yeah, that Bane of the Living. Yeah, let's just allow this in, not that there's anything we can do about it. And then tapping down for a Mere. That is the Alpha Mere. Not going to swing in with that this turn, but if they are similarly to us going for an Alpha Strike, then it will be useful to them to have as many creatures in play as possible. Let's just flip the Icefeather Aven over here, because it does have evasion, which will help with our play this turn. Bounce the Mere Battle Sphere. I think they might be looking to swing in with that. Then going in at us with the Hovermere. And we are not going to block with our Flyer, because it will die to that. Then during our opponent's end step, we will go for the Worldly Tutor and grab ourselves that Craterhoof Behemoth. Definitely want to put that on top with the Miri's Guile so that we draw into it. And that comes down and gives our creatures trample and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures we control. And our opponent sees what's about to happen and decides to concede. Yeah, that was a pretty good showing for us there. We managed to play out some morph creatures and flip them round and actually make use of them. I don't think this is a really competitive build, and I don't really know if you can make a competitive build with her, but yeah, a fun game nonetheless, so hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.